Well, good evening to a lot of people in Orlando at the moment who may be experiencing some form of grief after realizing that Goliath Ventures has actually filed for bankruptcy. And reading through the document, which I haven't really had a good chance to, it is actually quite saddening to see how many companies or how many individuals now have had a bit of closure. We've had stupid people on the internet claiming there's $1 billion worth of money tied up, $1 billion worth of money tied up in Goliath Ventures. And now we have this document in front of me showing us that this company has now claimed bankruptcy and named all these individuals and companies that are out of money. $8.7 million, $40,000, $340,000, $1.2 million, $100,000, $193,000, $485,000, $401,000, $700,000, $200,000, $1.1 million, $50 million, 330, all these figures and all these companies, and they have now lost all their money to Goliath Ventures, who are offering 3 to 8% return. People who didn't listen to my messages back on September the 1st, 2025, when I started going through this company, telling people this was a scam. It's a wee bit hard for me to process a lot of this. It's a wee bit hard for me to keep up with the correspondence I'm getting. And in saying that, I have now got 27 individuals, which I believe are co-conspirators. We hear that people like Stephen Davis is packing up his bags and heading over to Germany to run from escape. We hear that Christopher's wife, we've got evidence that she had been promoting Goliath Ventures. We know she's gone on a first-class cruise to the Caribbean islands, or some islands where, and I've got proof right in front of me here showing that she has been busy promoting Christopher's Ventures, and probably we've heard that she gets $20,000 a month spending money. We hear that they're driving around in cars that most of us will never be able to afford all our life, and then they file for bankruptcy. It's gutting. Anyway, that's not what we're here for today. I wanted to actually just come along, first of all, and then start with another large-scale Ponzi scheme and scam that I've been investigating for the last 6 months as well. I think it's been 6 months, could even be more. So I'm going to start that now. Before we get started, I want to set the tone for what we're about to watch. Yes, we're going to go to the movies together, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to listen to a couple sharing what looks like a genuine success story about BG wealth sharing. They come across as a sincere, reliable, and believable. I don't even know if that's reliable.
Relatable.
Relatable and believable. But this is exactly how these schemes operate. Whether they realize it or not, their role is in the moment, is to sell the confidence, to normalize the risk, and encourage others to follow the same path. Because when you strip it back, it isn't a testimonial, it's recruitment. And that's the part people need to understand before they get emotionally pulled into what sounds like an opportunity. There are already warnings out there. Multiple countries have flagged this operation. 6 different governments from 6 different countries have flagged this operation. The information exists, the risk is documented, but the stories like these are designed to override all of that. So as we watch this together, I want you to listen carefully, not just to what they are saying, but to what is actually happening underneath it. Because this is how people get drawn in. And this is and why the end of this, we need to decide for ourselves whether it sounds like interesting or something entirely different. This is why I do what I do in a lot. But this is, if you listen to this and you are in two minds, you really need to focus on what this couple is doing here. I've written a whole blog about this couple, and they are at the top of the pyramid at the moment. They are telling you that all you need to do is invest $500. These guys invested $500, made a little bit of money, and then went $5,000 in each. And now they're claiming that they can withdraw $10,000 a month each. I think it's $40,000. But even if they withdraw that much money, they're still making money. Now, this is designed to encourage you to think that you just need to risk $500, but they're missing telling you what they're really doing. So they're recruiting. They're dragging friends, family, everybody they can think of. And then they're telling those people to recruit. Now, this is not a good idea. This couple has stuck their neck out on the line here. They are chirping like canaries, and they're actually could be ruining their whole lives simply because they have put their name, it's this Mark Brown and Kate Brown's name out there. They're telling people what they're doing to build success and encouraging you to do the same. They're not regulated financial advisors, and they're misleading the public. Now, when myself and my Avengers watch videos like this, we're disgusted. But unfortunately, people don't listen to our warnings. As we've just found out with Goliath Ventures, people have lost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars because it just sounds too good to be true. This couple, the only thing they're judging their success on is the money they're getting paid at the moment. No one is looking at the hundreds of people that they have recruited. No one is looking at the backhanders they are getting and where the money is actually coming from. No one is questioning whether any real trading is going on. No one is listening to the 6 different government agencies that are screaming out to people, telling them, do not get invested in this opportunity. You will lose the lot. No one is looking at the first company, which was called CR Group LLC. On the 25th of December, they told all their people that they had to deposit 20% on top of whatever they had on their fake app balances into the platform, or they would lose the lot. And the people that did invest the 20% on top of the platform did lose the lot and the 20% they put on top. What type of operation needs you to cut and paste some text 3 times a day so you think you're doing something for your money? A state-of-the-art investment opportunity you're going to hear about, and they have to get people to do meaningless tasks, cutting and pasting text into a fake app so they think they're doing something for their money. And then all of a sudden, everyone else like me are stupid because we don't understand that they're getting paid and I don't know what I'm talking about. Then the tug of war that we have is people go, well, I'm not losing any money. I've put $500 in and I've got my $500 out and now I'm playing with house money. Well, you're not. If a class action lawsuit starts up and goes after these individuals, they will be spending the rest of their lives either in prison or paying back every cent that they stole from people who find out they were deceived. So is this couple clever or are they stupid? I'll let you decide. But let's start listening to this terrible testimonial from a company. Now, only 11 people have watched this video, but they're going to be using this video to show people how well this couple has done.
Hi, I want to thank you guys today for getting on. To everybody who would watch, this is Mark and Kim Brown, and I saw their incredible story posted on Facebook, and I reached out to them because they live in Oklahoma, and we met up for lunch, Rich and I and Mark and Kim. And so I just wanted them to have the opportunity to tell you guys their BG story, how long they've invested, how it has been working for them. And so I guess that's where we'll start. So Mark, we'll start with you because you both invested, for different reasons. So let's just start with you. How did you find out about BG? How did you decide to start? And then what does it look like? What does your journey look like so far?
Okay, so I'm a military veteran, and a fellow veteran friend of mine introduced me to BG, and at the time I was skeptical.
At the time, I was skeptical. Okay, are you skeptical? Well, you're just like him.
It's mainly because I had been in a couple of digital currency programs before, and
60% of people that we actually help in Ponzi schemes, in my opinion, and in my maths, reinvest in a Ponzi scheme. So they go after the people that have already been deceived, thinking this is the way to trade out of it. They go after the gamblers.
they didn't work out. I either lost money or the company just closed up and was not seen or heard from again.
Oh my God, that's exactly what happened to you.
So at the time, I told my friend, I'll watch you, see how your progress goes, and then if it looks solid, I'll get involved then. So I did that. I watched him for about 90 days. And when he was making probably triple digit returns, is when I decided, I think I would like that. And
Who wouldn't want triple digit returns? Come on, guys. I do. I would love to be able to get triple digit returns.
I got back in touch with him and said, hey, I've been watching your progress. I said it looks good, it looks reliable and consistent, so I'd like to register and get involved. And he basically he showed me a demo. We got on a Zoom just like this, and he showed me how a trade was made because that was something I was curious about, and he was able to show me in just 4 steps how easy it is
4
to
steps.
use the BG program. And I did get registered. I started. It's been a great journey ever since. I really like, that you can learn while you're earning. And that's how I was introduced to it. I'm not gonna steal any of Kim's thunder, but she checked up on my progress, and then I got Kim to register. So I'll let her take that part on, and then we can finish with the rest of the question. Is that all right?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
Kim, you heard about it because this guy you live with, he was doing it and you watched him. How long did you watch him before you said, okay, fine, I'll try it?
I think it was like a week and a half.
Yeah.
Not very
week and
long.
a
Okay.
half.
No,
That's
no.
what the average is.
And
They're
then
trying to
I
get.
looked at him and I said, I think this is a good deal. I think I want to sign up, but we need to put more money in. So, well, actually, wait, I didn't start with the full amount. I started 500. He had started with about 300 at that time because that was still pretty accepted. And so I think we only did the trading with the 500 with me for about a week. And I looked at him and said, if you want to retire within a year, we got to add more funds. So we did. We each added 5,000 more to our accounts.
Right. And
Okay, so
So-
all in.
So that very word is telling you how it works. What it's telling your subconscious mind there, ladies and gentlemen, because I've seen this. Now, remember, I'm actually about to go to a court with an individual that was promoting this in Wellington, New Zealand. And since this has fallen over, the original scam was called CR Group, what was it called? CR Group LLC. And on the 25th of December, just gone back, they were told that everyone had to top up their accounts by 20% or they'd lose the lot. They lost the lot anyway for the ones that did it, but then people realized it was a scam. This is the same scam, which has been rebranded now as BG, which is Great Wealth Sharing. And it was like they used New Zealand and Australia to do a test case to see how it went. So this scam has already fallen over, rebranded itself, and now it's taken the world by storm. And this couple is trying to give you a testimonial. Now, I've heard these type of scenarios day in, day out for the last 5 years. And this is people sitting at the top of the pyramid. I don't know if you've ever tried to climb over somebody when you're going up a pyramid. It's pretty hard. So they've been in it for 12 months now. So they can tell you a good story and they'll be one of the few that want to speak out about it. Do not think this is a green light for you to make a passive income. This is actually a way for you to lose your money and help them even get even more money if this couple isn't a paid actor couple.
And 5,500 for you, 5,300 for him. Okay. And you guys are right around your 1 year mark. Happy anniversary. So
Yeah,
what
thank
does
you.
it look like for you 365 days later? Where are you at?
You want to go first?
Go for it.
Okay. We couldn't have predicted how well it's turned out. I mean, the first thing that I really like as a byproduct of the program itself was, learning to earn the BG way. And then the other part was something that I had been personally searching for a very long time.
So they said they've been doing this for 12 months. I published a blog on the 1st of January 2026 about, when BG fell over. So they're alleging that this has been going for 12 months. I don't even think that's mathematically correct. So that's, but what they're trying to do is give you a template of what you could do. And the scenario is that it took them 6 months before they actually broke even. And they need you in the platform for 6 months, hoping that it's actually going to get to 6 months. And by that time, you would have recruited. And if you have recruited your friends and your family into it, then they'll probably keep paying you commissions. Now, to get your money out of here is possible, but very tricky. And you've got to switch it from one exchange to the next exchange and then hope and pray that they released your money. So it's not on a real exchange. It's not like going onto Binance or crypto.com and using USDT. Every transaction, everything that you go and do has to be approved. And you'll be part of a chat group, which is actually, I think, on Bond Chat, it's called. And it used to be on WhatsApp, but then that's got banned. And now they use a Bond Chat. And if you get kicked out of that community, you basically can't get back in that community and you won't be able to withdraw your money. And they will discourage you and they will discredit you if you talk about taking your money off the platform. So this couple here is going to about to tell you that they take their money out, there's no problems. But the reality is it's a hell of a journey. And we have actually helped one person get their money out. A young fella, age of 20, took out all his money out of what we call over here, sharesies. And we actually managed to get him $150 more than he actually originally put in. But in saying that, there was a 30% penalty for withdrawing your money early. He was going to double his money within 6 weeks, and it was just too good to be true. But he was strongly discouraged from withdrawing his money. But once he found out that we were helping him save himself from a scam, he decided to let us have total control of his wallet, which we don't like doing normally. And we managed to get all his money back and $150 extra, which theoretically isn't his anyway. But anyway, let's carry on.
And that was a business or an activity that Kim and I could both be involved with together. And I mean, this was definitely it. This was the thing that we were both excited to do together, excited to, kind of daydream about, kind of open up our mind about what the future could be like. And so that was the beginning part of it. The middle part of the journey, the 6-month mark, was, very exciting because we had withdrawn a little bit by then. We had definitely taken out our initial investment. So, all of the rest of the profit since then has been, just generated off of the trades that we made. And right now, just to be transparent, in our trade accounts, we have over 6 figures. So we're doing very well. We're very happy. The future is wide open for us. I actually retired early in large part because of the BG Wealth Sharing Group.
That's amazing. What about you, Kim? What would you add to that where are we at now? How's it going?
It's really going well. Due to this process, like he said, he's retired. His last day was the 27th of February. So he is done working. We're getting ready to move after my son is done with Votech school. We're going to move up by Kansas City. So we're getting our house ready to put on the market. We've already got land under contract due to BG. So things, dreams we never thought of. By May, if I figure correctly, before we close on the house, we're buying our 5th wheel to go along with the truck that we recently bought due to BG. so that we can live in our
Oh.
fifth wheel and travel while our home is being built on our
Oh, this
property
sounds
that
too
we're
good to be
buying.
true.
And I figured everything, the house, the property, all of our vehicles, everything. The cars and stuff are going to be paid off before we even sell our house here. The RV, we're paying cash. The land, we're going to finance the land. We're already in that process.
So when they finance the land, this is what happened with a lot of Goliath people. They invested their money that they were getting on a monthly basis. They actually got mortgages and then used the money that they got from the dividends to pay the mortgages. And now when the scam has fallen over, everyone's lost everything. And this couple will be in the same boat. They won't be able to keep the payments up with their land. They'll be having all their money clawed back where they've stolen money from people. It's actually business success in a way.
But the
if it's
home, we're
true.
going to buy with cash. We're going to build it with cash.
Wow.
Our land should be paid off by next summer. And it's all due to BG and them not limiting what you can pull out.
Oh, there you go. There's a lot.
That sounds amazing. So you have said 3 different things that I'm like, ooh, we need to dig into that more. So you just said not limiting what you can withdraw or pull out. And that is one reason that I reached out to you, is because of your mindsets and your experience. So you have experienced no limitations and you've taken large withdrawals, and you also did it in what I consider to be a very not volatile currency. So that's why I was like, this guy knows something I don't know, and I want to know what he knows. So so how has your experience been withdrawing? What does that look like?
Oh,
Like,
'cause
you
everyone
guys
asks
have
that
goals,
question.
you did what I did, put it on a piece of paper or put it on a spreadsheet and just dreamt a little bit. So it's nice, first of all, to dream again.
Yes.
And then actually you're seeing those dreams become a reality. You're buying things that you couldn't have bought before with cash.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about how the withdrawal process has looked for you, and like what types of withdrawals do you take? Like, what are you paying yourself per month right now from your BG account?
Right now, we're
now, we
pulling
don't
out on the
know.
1st and the 15th, so twice a month, because I'm a money figure, and I figured out if we did once a week, twice a week, once a week, 3 times a month,
3 times
4 times a month,
lady.
or twice a month. I figured them all out, and I did about 6 months. To us, we made more withdrawing twice a month. But this month, this month already, we've pulled 10,000 each.
Wow.
And come the 15th, we're each pulling another 10,000 each.
Wow.
So 20,000 each, 40,000 as a couple.
Yep.
Yeah.
From putting in 5,500 and 5,300 365 days ago.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
And your accounts are growing more than you're withdrawing.
Oh my God, where's the money
Oh
coming
Yes.
from?
yeah.
Yeah.
I make sure when I figure it because like I said, I'm a figurer. So I make sure that we're advancing the dollars in our trading account above what we withdraw by at least 10,000.
Yeah. She's
Okay.
good.
Wow.
No doubt about her.
Wow. The
Wow.
other thing that you said, Mark, is you said learning to grow the BG way or something like that. Can you tell us simply what you say that is?
Okay.
Yeah. So
And they sound like really good
the
business
win-win
people,
is
don't
that
they?
we get to learn while we earn, right? I
Oh,
think that's really
cliche.
important. Maybe not to everyone, for some people, they just want to get started and do the investing side, and they're really not concerned with the business or networking or business building part of it.
Yeah. Yep.
But if you
So you
really
don't have
want
to
to
recruit.
experience
They'll
the
just take your
full
$500 off you.
benefit or everything that BG has to offer, then you can build a team and earn or be benefited by that additional
nothing.
revenue stream of team building,
Review stream.
right? So as you know, Mr. Beard talks about updates, information about the digital currency.
Who's Mr. Beard? He's Father Christmas. He doesn't actually exist. He's just somebody working out of a human trafficking compound in Myanmar, and they're running this, and people think they're real individuals. How many real individuals do you not know where they live? where they work from.
market, worldwide events and how they affect what we're doing. And then of course also building a team and building a business
team. Now
with the
that's where the
activity
recruitment's coming
that
from.
we do within BG. And it's 4 simple steps, right?
Simple. You just
So we
lie.
all get together in a
Lie.
community. There's a communication app that we use. It's a secure app, and 500,000 of
A
us at
secure
this
fake
time
app that's not
gather
running a
in
real
that group.
exchange.
And then we have a brief learning session from Mr. Beard, and then the trading signal or code is released. We copy that. We go over to the digital currency exchange that we use and we paste it. And then within probably about maybe close to an hour or so, we get our results back from that trade.
Wow.
And yeah, it's
What
not
trade?
always
Can you see the
profitable,
trade on any
but the
exchange?
good thing about Mr. Beard is, and
Mr.
I
Beard.
consider the guy a genius because he's
really?
doing things that no other group out
'Cause
there
it's
is doing.
impossible.
If we have a bad trade, he makes a replacement trade where we
Okay, so
not
all
only
in-
earn
So
back what we lost, but we actually profit over and above that.
Wow.
And there is no place else that I'm aware of that does anything
Yeah,
like
and there's
that.
a
So
reason for
he's
that.
the way that he structured and built the BG Wealth Sharing Group, along with the exclusive agreement with the trading exchange. I think it's a first of its kind
Really?
in this space, and that's another big reason why we're such big fans and proponents for
Big fan
investing
of somebody who
the
gives you
BG
10,000.
way.
Yeah, and you
a
had
month.
said 4-step system. And so if I'm hearing you right, that's talking about going to the messaging system, participating in the information, grabbing that code, taking it over to the trade system, putting it in, and then waiting and watching,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, just
Right?
waiting.
You bet.
Okay. Yeah, and we like when there's a loss because like you said, the gain is high above what, and of course we're losing 1%, right? It's only 1%. If we lose 1%, no big deal,
1%,
but
no
it's
big
nice that
deal.
we don't have to lose the 1% because they have a 5-step recovery system.
Yeah.
And to my knowledge, we've only made it to step 2 ever.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
that's
that's
pretty
correct.
good.
Oh,
For
it's so
99.6% accuracy, I think is what
Yeah.
Yeah.
what we're at. Okay. So you've already told how some ways this has blessed you. And you guys have gotten to dream again, and you've got big moves coming in the future, and you've already made a few purchases. But how are some ways this has blessed others that you've shared with? Like, is there anybody that stands out that like I shared
My
it with
mum.
Jimmy, and Jimmy's life is different now?
Do you want to go first?
No, you go first.
Okay.
You go first.
So the first example that I have, I actually want to talk about 2 of them.
Oh, wow.
Because
This gets
like I
me
mentioned,
good.
I'm a military veteran.
Oh,
I
now
shared
you're
it with
connecting with me
a fellow
emotionally.
military veteran, and he was retired medically, and so he's on a fixed income, and BG has benefited him just tremendously. You know,
Oh, he's
he's
helping
in
the
that
community.
phase now where he realizes that he has more than a sustainable income with
Mhm.
the consistency that BG has, for us having daily successful trades. It's just I wouldn't say he's a different guy, but he's definitely has less, I won't say less cares, but his concerns are different now, and he's a much
Right.
happier
Happier.
and
Oh,
I
that's
want not happy go lucky, but he's more carefree, so to speak. And to see that in a fellow veteran, it is really something that
perfect, man.
it makes me happy. It fulfills me to be able to help someone who has already served and helped,
Oh,
keep
he's just too
the
lovely.
cause of our nation in the forefront of their mind while they were serving. So that's the big one for me. The
Hey,
second
Mr.
one, I'll do it
Catering.
real quickly. It's
Hello.
a recent development, and another reason why I'm just such a huge proponent for this is that there's no age restriction now for
You don't even have to be 18.
starting with BG.
Oh,
So
dear.
a child at any age can be registered by a
Are you listening to
guardian
this
or
shit?
parent or grandparent, what have you. And before they're even out of high school, they could be financially set for life. They
Oh
could
my
actually
God,
have
the world is going to collapse.
um
Why do these people need your money to make
what's
this
the word
much
I'm
money
looking
from
for?
this. Why
They
don't they
can
just keep it
they can have
in-house?
generational wealth built into their lifestyle before they graduate high school.
Yeah.
And just to have that possibility
Oh,
for a
it's
young
amazing.
person and to
Just
be
need
able to get them in
$500,
a
guys.
frame of mind where,
It's
you know,
mindset.
virtually no one else in their probably graduating class is thinking it's a treasure,
Well, they
you
will
know?
when the
And
bird gets
so
around, and
I
then they'll
can
run out
see
of
that
stupid
BG
people.
is not only going to change adult lives, it's going to change the lives of children
Wow.
and then young people, and they're going to have, I just would be so excited to see how a young person progresses into young adulthood with the blessing of the BG way. So those
So
are
if
my
you
two
are sitting
quick
here
ones.
and you're on the fence and you
And what
think this
about
is
you,
real,
Kim?
you need to reach out to us.
The main person I can think of is
my
my
mom.
sister.
My sister. I knew it was going to
She
be somebody.
was in a job. She had been in the job for,
Oh,
God,
30 years.
20 some years.
Oh, really?
And they started treating her really, really nastily at work.
Oh, that's mine.
She was getting called into the
My boss
office,
is a bit of
told
a
that because
bit
she
of a
was
scumbag.
pretty high up in there already, and she was being told she had to change her whole persona, the way she treats people. Yeah,
Now she's
it
living on the
was
beach.
nasty. So all the, the
Nasty.
people, if these young ones don't want to work, so they'd complain, and she'd get called in and get in trouble.
Oh, she
And
got in trouble.
she was working on salary, but she was making sometimes less than her people were
Oh, this is
because
terrible.
of she works at a blood bank,
Oh, she gives
and they
blood.
travel.
Yep.
So she was so stressed. She was working 50, 60 hours every week
Oh my
on
God, that's
salary.
me. I work 80 hours a
So
week
I
fighting scammers.
finally, I talked to her shortly after we started, and she just kind of blew it off. Finally, we had a sisters weekend in Lake Ozark, Missouri,
I paid for everything with my money.
and I showed her everything. I showed her where we were at by that
Look
point.
at me.
She went
I'm
home, and
a
not even a
personal
week later,
scammer.
she started. But she started with a little, well, she started with about 2,000.
Oh, there you go. They're grooming you. Now, just think about this. Now, you try and find Mark Brown and Kate Brown on the internet. See how many Marks and Kates you find. But let's go for it, guys. Let's see whether this couple is actually real. Let's find them. Let's find their Winnebago. Let's find their bit of land, and let's make sure we publicize how well they've done from recruiting people into one of the largest Ponzi schemes and scams on the planet. Let's name and shame these individuals, or perhaps these aren't real individuals. Who knows? But do you know them? Let's visit them. Let's find them. They said that this was posted on their Facebook page, and it was such a good testimonial. This lady, who we don't even know who she is interviewing them, wants to hear their story so it can inspire you to leave school at any. You can sign up at any age and give them $500, and you'll be able to get yourself a Winnebago and build yourself a house and pay cash even before you leave school. Only takes 12 months. Are you for real?
And she's made it to the point where in December, she was making more than she was at work, so she quit. She's a lot happier. She's volunteering at a women's shelter. When you talk to her, she's not crabby. You could tell work was stressful for her. And now she's like, sometimes I just don't know what to do with myself. So she's volunteering. She's volunteering. She's working out. She's got a trainer now. I was like, good for you.
Oh, so she's going to feel
Her
better
husband got
health-wise.
deployed. He's in it too. So he's over I think he's in Germany right now. So she's on her own, but they're both working it, and she's happy being home.
Right. So how do you share this opportunity with the average Joe who says, what is that? Or tell me more about that. Like, how do you start, Mark? Like you break things down in a really simple way. I was really grateful for the way you break things down, especially in the digital currency market, where a lot of us feel like that seems scary and imaginary, and we don't know anything about it. So how do you break it down simple?
The first thing that I do is just in a routine daily conversation, I just keep my ears open and listen for cues that people give about,
I shaved all my hair off my head so my ears could listen and keep an open mind.
their financial situation. And if I feel like BG would be a good fit for that person, it's not like I'm prejudging or anything like that, but sometimes people are just predisposed to sharing information about their situation or frustration about a situation. A lot of times that has to do with their financial status or a financial challenge that they're going through or what have you. So if I don't hear that, sometimes I'll just ask someone, so do you invest? Right? That's a pretty innocent,
It's innocent.
question. Some people may look at it as a prying question. So if I feel like they're guarded, I'll just say, hey, can I ask you a personal question? And then I'll say, do you do any investing? Right? So if the answer is yes, then I'll introduce BG. If the answer is no, then I'll introduce BG. So either way, I'm going
Oh.
to talk to them about it. It just
Sure.
depends on, how they answered that question or that curiosity, right?
Mm.
And then I basically say, if you can copy and paste, you can do this. And then I'll talk to them. I'll explain the 4 steps because, they're very easy. And if they can copy and paste, they can definitely do it. A lot of times I talk about the size of our group. I mentioned it earlier, but I will again. We have 500,000 people in our group from 100+ countries around the world. And our
Oh,
oldest
that
team
makes it
member is
right.
92. So if a 92-year-old can do this, virtually anybody can do it,
Oh,
right? And so it is easy.
hey, Jelly Snack.
It's a process.
Do you want to sign up for this, Jelly
I mean, if you can set a reminder on your phone or an alarm on an alarm clock just to remind you at what time the trades are, you won't have any problem whatsoever, there is a complicated term for what we do. So sometimes
Stealing.
I'll
Jail.
mention, hey, we do short-term contract trading.
No, you
That's the
don't.
technical
There's no
term
proof
for
of
what
that.
we do. And I wouldn't say people's guards go up, but a lot of times there's a kind of a response like, what the heck is that? Right. So
Hey,
then
use my
I will immediately try and, put the roadblock down and say, hey, I know that sounds technical, but what we do
Technical,
is
sounds
really a
illegal.
simple process. So I'll just go back to the 4 steps and explain it and just carry on the conversation from there. Cause the registration process is it's pretty simple. It's just filling out information and then, waiting for it to be approved and the account to be verified. It's really not complicated. It's just, it's just a process. It's just interacting with another person, our executive assistant, to verify the account. So the onboarding process is also very easy. But
Yeah, you just
that's
get the
how I
money.
do it.
Now, why would this
I'll let
company
Kim tell
need
you how
your
she
money?
does it.
Would you add anything to that, Kim, or is yours different?
No, it's the same.
It just depends on the person. Some of my friends, I know that they probably won't do anything. So I'll
Yeah.
just, if I'm sitting with them, I'm doing my trade and they ask what it is. Well, if they ask, I'm going to show them. So I'll just show them what I'm doing. They either, whatever, or they say, oh, tell me more. Sometimes that's the best way because if you just bring it up, they're just kind of like, nah. We got a lot of skeptical friends and family, so, and then I'll just tell them, if you want to know more, we can do coffee. We can go out for lunch,
Oh my God.
and
Lost
I've
our
done it a
marketing
couple
link.
times, but I'll be honest with you, a lot of my friends that I've told still haven't joined.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're scared or just not sure, or it may not be the right
Maybe
time
they're
for
reading the
them,
government warnings.
So, but I found I try to be very sincere about the process. And I tell them it can change your world if you let it.
Yeah.
You just got to get started. And you can do with that what you will. I'm not going to bother you. We're not going to say you have to sign up. You got to do this. You got to do it at this point in time. When they're ready, they'll get a hold of you. We've had a cute few do that, like my sister. It took a while. She finally got in.
So if today was the day this opportunity landed in your lap and you could start all over again today, is there anything that you would do differently than the way you have invested? And if so, what would you do differently?
Start with more right from the start.
Oh, start with more.
Don't start with 500. Do the top amount you can.
Oh, that's just beautiful.
And then we kind of, we took quite a bit of time
take
before
all
we
your money
started
that you
talking to people
can.
about it as well.
And they've got money.
And I think that's why we haven't grown as fast as some people, but we don't have the friends like some or family like some of these people have. We're I don't know if it's where we live or who we're friends with, but the skepticism is really high, or they're more traditional. You know, but yeah, we waited and took our time, and I wish we would have started getting information out to our friends and family
So
sooner.
it's about recruitment, everybody, not about the $500.
So-
Mark, would
Yeah,
you do anything
I would
differently?
echo that.
Go.
Definitely making more of an investment upfront, initially.
Oh my
The
God.
concept
People who
that
fall for this, do I feel
the
sorry for them?
the
Or
group or the
how do I
process
talk to
is
deaf eared
based
people?
around is to invest once
How
and
do I
then
stop
to
people
continue to
listening to these
earn
idiots?
as long as you like. So that right there is really, I think revolutionary, and when I explain it to other people, they're like, well, how much do you have to do per month? And then I'll say, you don't have to do
You
anything
don't
per
have to do
month,
anything. But
you
you
can
just
always
make
add to
money
it
like
if you
we are.
like, but yeah, the structure of it is invest one time and then continue to earn from there. So yeah, Kim would have invested with a bigger initial investment. And that,
So let me get this right. This couple's taking out $10,000 a month at the moment and building their house with cash. They've built themselves a Winnebago or a caravan to travel around in, some hippie vehicle, and they have taken the money out to build their house now. But if they really believe the program, why wouldn't they just put everything in it? Because a lot of people do. And then what they're telling you to do is don't hold back and put as much money as you possibly can right now, because that's the advice they would give someone who was starting out, even though they're contradicting themselves and taking out money now for their lifestyle, because they're using lifestyle marketing to promote this. And that's the disgusting part about people like this. Whether this couple is true or actors, or this is just a ploy, this isn't a testimonial. This is a lure for people who think, I'll just put $500 in. You'll put $500 in and you'll see it on your fake app that you now have 550, and it's only been a week. And then you're sitting here thinking, imagine if this is real. And that's what they want you to do. And then they tell you that we felt the same. That's what they want you to think. And then they're telling you then they put 5,000 in each. And now, just last week, they've decided they're going to take out $10,000 at a time so they can build their dream house. And her sister hated her job, and all the young people didn't want to work, and she was on a paid salary, and she hated her life. She's now got herself a fitness trainer, and she's building her life back, and she's got this passive income that's coming from nowhere. It's too good to be true. And people believe this shit. How do I stop people from believing this shit? Because they're only investing 500, but then they thought, well, I was getting paid into a fake app. I couldn't figure out how to get my money out, but my friends were doing it and they were showing me how much money they were making from me signing up. Oh, from me. How do I compete with this? And this is where the world has to change. This is where YouTube need to take videos down like this.
it just really snowballs and gets the profits rolling even quicker. The second thing, like Kim said, I probably would have started showing my proof of earnings sooner to share with other people. And then also the proof of withdrawal, because that's a lot of times two concerns that people have. Hey, prove to me that you're earning real money, right?
So this couple's busy recruiting and getting the money, and they're going to be showing you the money. But the people that are recruited might be able to get some of their money out because they're associated with this, this walking advert. If these people are real, if this whole thing is real, people can get their money out of these things. It's like going to the casino and gambling when the casino's actually already gone bankrupt. And now they're relying on new people to pay old investors. These are old investors, and they're telling you how wonderful it is. But the new investors need to wait at least 6 months. Now remember, this scam has been rebranded. It's already been featured by the FMA here in New Zealand. I've got 60 people that have lost all their money to this. I've got all their phone numbers. And I can prove to you that these guys wish they never listened to these type of people. And here they go. They rebrand themselves. They go out to the global audience and tell everyone how wonderful it is. The scam that was running, I don't even believe it was running 12 months ago. It won't even last 6 months. But yeah, some people may make some money out of it. They are the ones that recruit, lose all their friends and family, and that's it.
And then the other one is, have you withdrawn any? And so that's something that I did, was just created a group on Facebook where either every day or every other day I would show, hey, this trade or these two
So Facebook facilitates scams. That's what he's saying there.
trades made me this much this day, right? And that way I have kind of a running tally. I know Kim tracks it, by line because she's a number cruncher. But so we do it a little bit differently, but it's not a problem between the two of us. Those were the things that we would do different.
So you both mentioned that you would invest more sooner or more
Let's reiterate the lie.
upfront. And so how long, so you started with 300 and 500, and then how long was it before you're like, let's put another 5,000 each in? So you're saying basically,
Yeah, they're going to say, she's going to say a week and a half. He's going to say 5 months because they want to cover both spectrums of people that are in doubt. So, and people who are greedy, they normally do it straight away because they'll give it a punt. And they're only got $500, well, maybe $5,000 to lose.
we could have earned more faster had we put in the 55 and the 53, but like, how long was your delay? And was it in part due to the other times when you've invested in something that didn't work out?
Oh, like all the scams out there that promise high returns. This is different. This one's the best one they've ever heard of.
You know,
Mark invested with only 300 because of the burn. We'd been burned before, bad.
Because we listen to the same stupid people we listen to this time.
And I think I didn't sign up for a couple weeks
Double a
after he
week.
started, because he kept showing me what he was doing. And I was like, okay, I'll do 500. So I started with 500 and we were going, and not even a week later, we were talking about things, and he goes, well, I'd like to retire soon and
Oh,
sooner,
who
and we'd
wouldn't want
like
to
to move
retire
closer
soon?
to
Everyone
home
retiring
because,
soon.
home is very far away where we grew up.
Mhm.
So I told him, I said, to do that, we need to put more in. So
Yeah.
I found a way to get us each an additional 5,000 to put into our accounts. And I'm glad we did,
Oh my God, you do the
because
same.
it changed
Put it on your credit
significantly the
card,
way
guys.
our track was going. So do
So-
what you can up front.
you mentioned so my final last questions, because it looks like we have about 9 minutes left. You've both started sharing, and you've done the team aspect. I'm sure you shared because you saw that it could change people's lives. You are level what managers? First of all, that's question number 1.
We're both level 2.
Level 2.
Level
Okay. And
2
so that
Mhm.
means
12
you
levels.
each invited 5, and then you have 2 that also invited 5. So you have at least that big of a team. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other question is, what advice would you give to
Oh, I hate this. I
new
absolutely hate these people.
investors?
I
I
feel
mean,
like
well,
punching them in
any
the
other
face.
advices that
I'm
you would
really
want
a
to
violent
share with
person.
new investors, new team members?
Okay, mine would be to utilize the corporate website to emphasize the efficacy or the legitimateness
Oh my God,
of
their
the
website's
business
fake
itself.
documents.
That's a question that I get in talking to new people many times as well. Is this for real? Right? It sounds too good to be true. Is
haters.
this registered
Talk about the haters.
appropriately? Blah, blah, blah.
I haven't even
And
listened to
our
this.
corporate website does a terrific job of showing the business registrations.
And it's
Another
changed
feature of this
URL
particular
400
business is that
times
it's
in the
registered with
past.
the United States Securities and Exchange
And it's
Commission.
not.
That's a government group that protects investors in the United States of America.
Well, bullshit.
And
There's no
the
protection.
BG Well Sharing Group didn't have to seek out that, that benefit. They didn't have to advocate for that because the headquarters it's headquartered in the United Kingdom, right? Well, they just took and went a step farther by getting that registration and protection for people who invest in the United States. So that's a big one for me, is just to show that legitimacy of the business up front. And that really just answers a lot of questions for people who are curious about the legalities of this business.
Yeah. Basically, what his information is really good, but you got to remember how you come across as well. Don't be pushy. People that turns a lot of people off.
Yeah,
The more
don't push them
aggressive
over
you
the
are,
cliff. Let
the
them
more
walk
they
over there
back
all by
away.
themselves.
So don't be pushy, don't be aggressive. Show them the facts. Be very
There is no
sincere
facts.
about all the
all
information
trust
that you're
me.
giving them, and let
I
them
did it,
see
you
your
do it too.
sincerity and let them decide. And like I said, sometimes it may take them a while, but they may come back to you and say, you know what, let's do it. Because you're not pushing them. Think about when you've been pushed on doing something. Does it turn you off? Turns me off. In fact, I'll turn the other way and I probably won't get in contact with you ever again. You know, so sincerity, just be a nice person.
Just be a nice
Come
wolf.
across as a sincere person, and you should be okay.
Yeah, just recruit people.
That's excellent. Do you have any final thoughts? Anything else you'd want to share about your BG journey and the benefit to others?
Yeah, mine are, I'm really excited for the future because, things continue to develop and are being built out as we go. Like I said, we're at 500,000 in this group and we're growing, bigger every day. So I'm excited to see, really how big can a group like this get? That's exciting because it's it's a large group and it's spread out across the globe. So it's got to be a challenge for our CEO, but he makes it look easy. So that's really interesting just from a business building standpoint. And then also from being in the digital currency space, it's also a new frontier, and so I'm excited about that. I kind of geek out on that part of it, the digital currency part of it. I'm really excited about. We did have our first annual convention here in the USA this past year. So I'm excited to go to actually in person the next one in this year, which should be 2026. I think that will really be an enjoyable time. We do have a larger team, and so being able to meet up with our team and be around with all the other BG group members in the USA and those that fly in from other countries, it's going to be so much fun. We're looking forward to that. And I'll get off my soapbox so Kim can add a couple things.
Oh, it's just
I
romantic.
really don't have much.
I took it all. Okay, those are the things we're excited about.
Well, I am
Change-
excited for you guys, for your move, for all the dreaming and all the things that maybe maybe retiring early wasn't on your bucket list even, and now you have a new bucket list.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was not even in our back burners, because, our age, we're not that old yet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say how old we are, but although I don't care if people know, we're 54. Okay. So retirement really
56,
wasn't
I don't
even a
have a house.
thought, but then all of a sudden it was like we started doing this, and I was like, well, we could be doing so much better if we put more in, and we did. And then I started tracking, and I was like, oh, we did better this month than I thought we would. So I refigure, and I was like, when do you want to quit? And he gave me a time, and we originally was May. And I said, we're doing well enough. You can quit the end of February.
Wow.
So that was,
Oh,
life is wonderful.
and he's got no friends.
This
Well,
is great.
congratulations.
Oh,
Welcome
it's
to
just-
retirement.
Oh, that's
And
so
Thanks.
cool.
thank you both for taking the time
Oh,
to
it's
just
great.
speak here. And I know that this will encourage my team members who take time to watch it, but also whoever you want to share this with. I think it's incredible. I think it's an incredible opportunity, and I feel like you do a really good job of making it. So it is simple, but
so simple.
when you
Just
say
give me your
digital
money.
currency, it feels big, and I think when you see how simple this is, that you don't have to spend hours learning the market or these are short term. And that's another thing I think you could speak to this, that the market doesn't affect you. Like people were asking the other day, oh, Bitcoin's way down. How's that affecting your thing? Not at all. Right? Because
Right.
our trades are 60 seconds.
Well, and a lot of people don't understand we're not actually trading on the coins itself.
Mhm.
We're trading on if the market's going up or down.
Yes.
So,
Like stock
You know,
options, except
no
I'm
one's
sure it's
thought of
called
it.
something
yes,
else. Yes.
yes, yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. You guys
Yes,
have
thank you, squeaky
a
lady.
blessed night, and I will be excitedly watching your journey as you get to move and build and be with your family
In
on a
12
big
months'
giant
time.
piece of land in Kansas.
Yes, thank you.
All right. You guys have a good evening.
You too.
Bye, Teresa. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh my God. If you believe that, it's really sad. I mean, so in 12 months' time, everyone's going to be in the same boat as them. Everyone's going to have a passive income coming in. They're going to have at least 10, 20. If you're a couple, you're going to have $40,000 coming in a month. And you're not going to be taking more money than you're making out every month. So it's just going to keep rolling on over. Nobody in the world will have to work. But they've forgotten one major point about this whole thing, and that is you have to recruit, and you have to basically, jeopardize everyone's financial future to build this, and it's just disgusting. So what I've got now is this is the previous blog I did on BG Wealth is a scam, and in here you'll see there's a warning here by our newsroom. And this is actually the news, like New Zealand news.
In communities in both countries. There's international warnings about Ponzi scheme BG Wealth, but its rapid spread amongst Tongans is sounding alarm bells. Pacific correspondent Barbara Drever with this exclusive report.
The lure is real.
BG.
Promises of big cash, 100% returns and more.
Yeah, so you can watch that. But in here, we actually show you the promotional video and how they believe it works. We've also show you the 6 different government warnings from the UK, Australia, Canada, Tonga, New Zealand, and also the Philippines. And this is absolutely disgusting. This is the photos that last minute before I went live, I didn't know whether to go with this photo or whether to go with this photo, how this couple lost it all to BG Wealth Sharing. And why have they lost it all? Because they will get clawed back. As soon as a whole bunch of Americans get together and go after this couple for recruiting them, they will have to give all that money back. That's if they're real. Can you find them? Do you know this couple? I'd like to know them. So this is more truth. This is fake testimonial, paid actors, scripted lines, stolen money. There wasn't anything that this couple said. So where does this scam originate from? I believe it's Myanmar, in the human trafficking compounds. Now, I've seen all those human trafficking compounds. I've been privy to helping with a PDF that was put together for the United Nations to tell people how bad these scams are and where they originate from. So I've exposed it with this image. Now, in here, we talk about CR Group LL, and we talk about how they, if you go through here, you'll find where they told everyone they had to put 20% of whatever was in their fake app balance at Christmas time on the 25th of December, and then everyone lost all their money. I've got 60 people who have actually invested in this company and lost a lot. Wish they listened to me earlier on. We've even got a WhatsApp or a Telegram group where people are in minds. So what I originally did, I wanted to go through this, and I'm going to have a go at reading it. This is my blog. Every Ponzi scheme looks real at the top because it's funded by the people at the bottom who haven't realized they have already that they've lost everything yet. People often believe testimonials are proof that if someone is withdrawing money, showing results, and confidently sharing their experience, the opportunity must be legitimate. That scam only becomes obvious after it collapses. How many of these scams look legit? When they fall over, everyone goes, oh, hindsight's a wonderful thing. Well, 5 years of doing this, I know this is not hindsight. When the damage is already done, the excuses begin. I'm in the same boat as you. Look at Goliath Ventures, for example. How many of the partners are now claiming that they had money invested? Now, would they have had money invested if they thought it was a scam? And that's what these people do. They'll say, we lost all our land. We lost our bus. We lost our house because we thought it was real too. And in the meantime, you were slowly coerced off the cliff with them. This BG Wealth Sharing video exposes how wrong that assumption is. What Mark and Kim present is not successful, not evidence of functioning investment platform. It is a real-time example how Ponzi schemes operate while it's still paying out, where early participants receive rewards, build confidence, and then use their experience to recruit others into the scheme that is funding them. The more convincing the story, the more people join, and the longer the illusion survives. This article is not written in hindsight. It is written while promotion is still active, while recruitment is still happening, and while people are still watching videos like this, asking themselves the most dangerous question of all. What have I got to lose? $500? $5,000? Where do I get the money from? Put it on your credit card. Put it on your mortgage. Sell that car. Make sure your kids are involved. Make sure your partner's involved. What this testimonial actually is. What we're watching is not a couple casually sharing their journey. It is a structured narrative that follows a very familiar pattern. I've seen it every day. You guys might be here for the first time. One that is being repeated across countless schemes over the years. It begins with skepticism, moves into observation, then into participation, followed by escalation, and finally into promotion. That is so well written, even if I may say so myself. Every step along the way, every involvement is there to fool you. Each step is presented as a personal decision that when you step back, it forms a clear recruitment pathway. Mark explains how he watched his friend for 90 days, making what he believed were consistent returns before deciding to join. What was not due diligence? That was not due diligence. That was outsourcing trust to someone else, somebody else's apparent success. Kim followed shortly after, initially cautious, then quickly convinced. Within a matter of weeks, both of them moved from testing the system to committing a significant amount of money. At that point, the story shifts. They no longer was just participants. They began talking about sharing it with others, building teams, and encouraging people to get involved. That represents helping people. In reality, expanding the structure that. Oh, look, I'm sorry. I've had a bit of a mucked up day today. My brain's not working.
What's presented as helping people is, in reality, expanding the structure that sustains the payouts they're receiving.
Yeah, so they have to keep recruiting. Escalating trap. What Mark and Kim describe isn't unique. It's the exact. Oh, look, I can't do it today, guys. So I'm just going to read these paragraphs, and I might stop them along the way if I feel like I can have a 2 cents. But it's well written. This.
What Mark and Kim describe isn't unique. It's the exact progression seen in almost every Ponzi scheme. And it's one of the most effective psychological traps because it feels rational while it's happening. They didn't jump in blindly with large amounts. They started cautiously, testing the waters with a few $100s, watching the numbers move, seeing what appeared to be consistent returns, and convincing themselves that what they were seeing must be real. That early proof is what lowers the guard. It creates a sense of control, a belief that they've found something others haven't. From there, the decision to increase their investment doesn't feel reckless, it feels logical. If $300 or $500 appears to be working, then putting in $5,000 seems like a smart move, not a risky one. That's how the system is designed to pull people deeper. The platform doesn't need you to understand it. It just needs you to trust what you're seeing.
Yeah, so one of my most interesting videos I've done recently is actually BG Wealth Sharing. And it's funny enough, if you come down here, you'll probably find it. Everyone's talking about it. So this blog here, actually. So I've had 5,500, the massive red flags on this blog. It's one of the ones that's actually done quite well for me getting it out there. But the platform is DSJEX, and that's their exchange, and it's a fake exchange wallet. So you'll download that app, and then you'll deposit money into that app thinking you're using that exchange, but that exchange has rebranded itself. I don't even think I can express I think the blog that I've done 2 investigations. I'm just wondering if they're the same. In here, we talk about the, I think, what do they call it? The FMA, not that one. What have we got? FMA, that must be here. So we will get the FMA, but we report things to the FMA all the time. We never get a write-up like we've got here. This is the 20th of August, 2025. This company has, they tell you how to avoid the scam and basically everything I'm talking about here. Then they list all the different domain names that this company has used to keep the scam alive. They have got, I think it was over 700 different domain names that have been shut down. Now, we've shut them down as well, and we're having arguments with the FMA at the moment because they won't publish our content because they want to do their own research. And it's a long-winded story, but that is the biggest warning I've ever seen. Now, remember, there's 5 other countries that have also published a warning about CR Group, and now they've admitted that it's CR Group is actually BG Wealth Sharing. You can actually see that there. It's the same scam, but this scam has already collapsed in New Zealand. It's pretty amazing. I just wanted to share that, but if you do search for it, you can see that we've actually got some pretty good traction. A lot of people are doing a bit of research, but obviously not enough. Right, so Kim openly admits that their biggest mistake is not telling other people sooner. The single statement is saying everything because at that point they've crossed the line of participation as participants to promoter. They are no longer just observing the results. They are actively encouraging others to join. So they become financial advisors, in other words. And that makes sense if the system depends on new people entering behind them. So if no one recruited, the money would stop because they can't afford to keep paying the old investors if they don't get new recruits. That's a telltale sign of a Ponzi scheme. If you don't know what a Ponzi scheme is, do a search for what is a Ponzi scheme. If this were genuine trading, their returns wouldn't be influenced by how many people join they bring in. The fact that they regret not recruiting others earlier tells you exactly where the real money is coming from, not from real trading, but from people. So the old saying everyone says to you, too good to be true and designed that way. The claim makes that the video don't just stretch credibility, they completely ignore basic financial reality. Turning a few $1,000s into a 6-figure income within a year, withdrawing tens of thousands per month and maintaining an account growth at the same time is not just unlikely, it is mathematically unsustainable. They're telling you that you're going to have the same success they have by following the same leadership that they are telling you. And if the company is that damn clever at making money, why do they need your money? They describe the system as near perfect, what's that word?
Accuracy.
Accuracy, where losses are recovered and profits are consistent. They even talk about how people will lose 1% if you lose a trade, and they can sustain their 1% loss. I mean, you can't make this shit up. What kind of performance doesn't exist? What kind of performance doesn't exist in real trading? I can't even understand what that says, so I'll have to read it. Sorry.
That kind of performance doesn't exist in real trading. Markets don't behave that way, and no system can eliminate risk while producing guaranteed returns.
Yeah, so I had a look at Bitcoin this morning, and I thought this couple was telling us that they have just made successful trade after trade, and crypto's actually gone backwards at the moment. So where is this company able to get such high returns on their investments if it's coming from crypto trading, if crypto's going backwards? Warren Buffett, I think, said you can see who's been swimming naked when the tide goes out. And I love that saying. That's what happened with a lot of Ponzi schemes I had when I first started doing my career, is that they literally lost money. They lost money when the crypto started dying. It exposed them. I'm going to get this paragraph read because I'm not in the mojo today. So let's have a listen.
What they're actually describing is not a trading environment, but a controlled system where outcomes are presented, not independently verified. The simplicity of copy and paste trading isn't innovation. It's a mechanism designed to keep participants engaged while removing the need for understanding. The more effortless it sounds, the more dangerous it is.
Yeah, if you just had to cut and paste text 2 or 3 times a day to get your returns on your investment, because you're doing something, you think you're entitled to something, and that's exactly the mentality they use. And every single Ponzi scheme and scam that I've gone after is exactly the same. The money isn't coming from trading, guys. One of the most important misconceptions in the entire video is the belief that the profits have been generated from trading activity. Mark states that everything after the initial withdrawal is profit generated from trades, and that is a lie. That belief is central to the illusion because based on everything we know from incidentals, I'm going to not be flowing on this one.
From identical schemes, from regulatory warnings, and from the structure itself, those funds are not coming from trading. They are coming from new participants entering the system.
So if you've got a good network of people, if you are in a religious community and you want to go through all your friends, if you're in the work place and you want to tell all your colleagues at work about it, then yeah, you can fool them into it. You can tell them, look at me, look at my app. And I've got people holding up their phones, showing people how much money they're making, enticing them to do the same. One guy used to work for the Hilton Group, and he was the logistics manager. And he was telling people that were underneath him that they were silly if they didn't invest. 60 people in that company actually listened to him. 60 people in that company actually complained about him afterwards. And now I don't believe he's got a job. They won't tell me. But the Hilton Group actually went after him and he's lost his job. I'm convinced he's lost his job because they took it really seriously. And we had all these people reaching out to me, telling me that they heard about the scam through this individual. And that was pretty awesome. And that was what happened with the first version of this scam that's now been rebranded. This isn't how early investors got to withdraw their money and build confidence. It creates the appearance of legitimacy, which is then used to attract more people. It is the cycle that continues until the inflow of new money can no longer support the outflow of withdrawals. At that point, everything stops. Now, this is the one I'm talking about, which I'm reiterating myself, but the CR Group LLC, and this was the exchange they were using at the time, is the same playbook, same ending. Were you also...
We've already seen how this story ends.
So I've seen how the story ends because I've witnessed this firsthand and I just explained it. So the CR Group LL, they used to call it Signal Traders and they had other names for it as well. They just keep rebranding themselves. People don't realize it's the same scam. The platform operates in a very similar way. The structured trading claims, community-based recruitment. You'd take people out for lunch and you'd get your meal reimbursed on the app if you just held up the receipt. And the professor would actually reimburse people for their lunch. I used to call this the lunchtime scam. Steady withdrawals to build confidence. Everything appears to be working until the moment people try to take their money out. And you're not allowed to, in Fight Club, you're not allowed to talk about Fight Club. And it's the same with withdrawing. That's when the rules changed. Members were told they needed to pay 20% verification fee. Whatever they had in their balance, they had to add it up and pay 20% to verification fee, calculated on their account balances before any withdrawal could be processed. They were given a deadline. They had the fear of missing out. If they didn't comply, their funds would be locked in for years. So you wouldn't lose your funds, you just wouldn't be able to access them for a long time, and then they all get locked in. That was the turning point. A lot of people started to wake up at that point. The illusion of control disappeared, and the reality became clearer. The people never, we were never accessible. Oh dear.
Accessible in the way people believed.
Yeah, so they lost all control of their money. They never got their money back. The New Zealand Financial Authority had already identified BG wealth sharing follows the same behavioural patterns. In fact, they've named it in that warning exactly the same scam. The connection matters because it shows this isn't a new opportunity. It's the same structure repeating itself under a different brand. So the 6 countries that have warned about this, while this couple was promoting BG wealth sharing, which I've done about earlier on, you can click on that link and you can go through and read about the 6 different company warnings if you disbelieve. You can also go to Behind MLM and read Oz's articles where he published, I think he's never done it before, he published 5 government warnings in a row on his website. So regulators across the world have already issued clear warnings. So that's in the United Kingdom. We have the United Kingdom, Australia, ASIC, Canada, Alberta Security Commission, Tonga, and then you had New Zealand, and you've also got the Philippines. And that doesn't normally happen so quickly, but this one here is the most violent scam I've actually seen happen. So a lot of people just think they're cleverer than the scam. They can afford to lose $500, but you're actually feeding the monster. You're keeping the illusion alive. And you put your $500 in and they use that to pay the old investors, and you think, oh, well, I lost $500, so what? But you're not. You're actually supporting and feeding the monster. Clawbacks. So this couple, this is what I reckon will happen. If there's enough people who've lost money in their group, in their community, they could do a class action lawsuit against this company. And the chances of them winning it are quite successful. I'm not a lawyer, but I know through Goliath Ventures that a lot of people now are doing these class action lawsuits. If they all come after this couple, I've been told from pretty sophisticated lawyers that they will be ordered to pay back everyone that claims they've lost money to their advice and telling people how to financially participate in BG wealth sharing. Right now, Mark and Kim believe they are winning. They are withdrawing money, planning their future, making decisions based on what they think is sustainable income. These couple have been in it for 12 months. They've recruited many people. They're at the top of the pyramid. They cannot lose. And it's the 80-20 rule, but in this case, I think it's more like the 99.9% rule versus the 0.1% rule. You pluck out one couple that have been at the very top of this and promoting this and using them as an example of what the 99.99% of people will not even get close to getting. Half the people don't even know what crypto is. Half the people don't even know how to get their money out of this platform. But the reality they haven't considered, when the Ponzi collapses, the legal process doesn't just target the operators, it extends to the money that was being taken and paid out. They will claw back those assets. This is where clawbacks come into play. If you receive profits from Ponzi schemes, those funds can... Oh, I do? All right. Even if you don't believe they're legitimate. So I'm just going to have this read to you because I've got to go out for dinner.
If you have received profits from a Ponzi scheme, those funds can be legally reclaimed, even if you believe the system was legitimate, and even if you have already spent the money. The law doesn't treat those profits as earnings. It treats them as funds that belong to other victims. And if you have actively promoted the scheme, recruited others, or encouraged people to invest, your position becomes even more exposed. The lifestyle being built now, the house, the vehicles, the withdrawals, can quickly turn into long-term debt and legal obligation.
I know with Goliath Ventures, we know that the partners are just going to be paying back the money that they've been squandering and spending like water for the rest of their lives. And it's exactly the same with people like this, especially if they're real. And that's why I'd love to find this couple and tag these couples and put them into our persons of interest files just to see what happens. And we can use it as an example why you wouldn't follow and listen to these propaganda videos.
This video isn't just a story, it's a record. What makes this situation more serious is that this testimonial isn't private, it's public. Mark explains how he recruits people. Kim talks about encouraging others to join. They both describe building teams and expanding their network. That's not just a personal experience being shared. It is a documented example of how the scheme is being promoted. And when investigations happen, when complaints are filed, and when legal action begins, that kind of documentation matters because it shows not just participation but active involvement in bringing others into the system.
Yeah. A pause before the next decision. Now, I have to read this in a hurry. This is the last paragraph, but I got to go, and I'm just going to rush through it now.
A pause before the next decision. This article is not for people who have already lost everything. It's for those watching videos like this and thinking they'll try it with a small amount, just to see how it works. For those who believe they can get in early, take profits, and get out before anything goes wrong. That belief is what keeps these systems alive. And the only reason people like Mark and Kim are able to withdraw money today is because someone else is about to take their place at the bottom. This is the moment where people either step back and look at the evidence, or step forward and become part of the cycle, because by the time it becomes obvious to everyone, it's already too late. And the question is no longer what have I got to lose, it's how much of it can I get back, if anything at all.
Yeah. Oh, look, guys, it's actually starting to affect me mentally, this fight and this quest to fight these scams, because we can't win, which is terrible. The other thing I want you guys to do is come along to my website, theheck.com. Remember, I don't get paid for doing this. I do this work as charity, so to speak. But if you go to my website and you search for BG Wealth Sharing Limited, I mean, if you can't support me, then make sure that you are listening to me. I mean, I don't want you to lose your money. I think it's disgusting. So these are the videos. This is today's blog. That was the last blog, and that was the one before. And then down here, we've got some other CR Global, and I think I've got some other blogs where people have mentioned BG Wealth. I can't save you if you don't listen to me, but if you can prove to me that this company is legitimate and actually doing the trades that they claim and getting the returns and guaranteeing people that there's no losses on returns, it's bullshit. And you can't deny that. We get people commenting under the videos that you're watching right now, and they are from the human trafficking compounds, and they're told what to say because they create doubt. What is my motive in this video? Well, it's to warn people who won't listen to me. And every time I can save a starfish, you ever heard the starfish story? The guy is walking down the beach and the tide goes out and he sees the starfish upside down in the sun. And the person gets the starfish and throws it back into the world, into the water. And the person walks up beside him and go, "What are you doing? Can't you see all the other starfish? Are you going to do the same to all those starfish?" And he says, "Well, I can't save all the starfish, but I save that one." Are you that one? Are you that person that listened to this and thought, "Thank you"? If so, provide a comment and say, "Thank you for saving me. I was doing some research and I stumbled across your video." Post it underneath. Gives me the reason why I do what I do. Hey, we'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope that was enough to wake you up. Don't listen to whatever their name was, Kim, and I challenge you to find that couple, that happy couple. I've forgotten their names already. What was they called? Mark and Kim Brown. Goodness me. They're living the dream. It's a lie. Become entrepreneurial. Find a product or a service and sell it. Make a profit. Put your money in the bank. Stay away from that crypto stuff. It's just propaganda. Don't be a victim. Become an advocate and start helping other people. They won't listen to you sometimes, but sometimes they do. Hopefully you've listened to me. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.